Open any standard history book, and you will find a clear starting point for organized, armed Indian resistance against British rule, the year 1857. But our records contain a significant 40-year gap. This timeline omits a fully coordinated, multi-faction war that neutralized British revenue collection and forced a tactical retreat from a provincial capital 4 decades earlier. The year was actually 1817. The location was the Kalinga Empire, modern-day Odisha, and the event was the Paika Rebellion. The mastermind behind this uprising was Buxi Jagabandhu. Born into a wealthy family, he served as the commander-in-chief of the Korda army under King Mukunda II. He was an elite tactician whose specific specialty was guerrilla warfare. Erasing Jagabandhu's 7-year campaign from the textbooks obscures how early and how fiercely local communities mobilized to fight British expansion. The East India Company consolidated its 1803 takeover of Odisha by weaponizing the local economy, moving beyond simple military occupation to systematic financial extraction. This is a collection of cowrie shells. For generations, this was the primary currency. Shortly after taking power, the British abruptly abolished its use. By invalidating the cowrie, the company erased the personal wealth of commoners, triggering total financial collapse across the province. The company then tightened the vice. They imposed severe taxes on everyday salt and seized the tax-free lands belonging to the Paikas, the region's local warrior administrators. By 1817, the region was facing economic starvation. The Paika Rebellion was an inevitable, explosive reaction to rapid, systemic extraction by a foreign corporation. When the British discovered and dismantled an early revolt planned by the local Korda king, Buxi Jagabandhu stepped into the power vacuum as a visionary political organizer. These are traditional palm leaf manuscripts. To circumvent British intelligence, Jagabandhu etched his rallying cries into these leaves and smuggled them out to neighboring rulers. His covert network successfully united entirely disparate factions. Wealthy Paika administrators joined forces with indigenous Khan Chohars and the influential priests at the Jagannath temple. The coalition struck on April 1, 1817. Rebels launched a massive attack on the Banapur police station, set fire to government quarters, and looted 15,000 rupees from the colonial treasury. Authorities in Cuttack scrambled to respond, but the Paikas intercepted a convoy with grenade attacks, forcing the British collector to flee and abandon his entire equipment train. The British immediately declared martial law. Recognizing the limits of a standing army, Jagabandhu vanished his forces into the dense local forests to wage an asymmetrical guerrilla war. Using hit-and-run tactics, the Paikas paralyzed the East India Company's revenue collection and transformed a localized grievance into an exhausting war of attrition. For 7 long years, the East India Company attempted to suppress the uprising. Eventually, they realized their battalions could not defeat Jagabandhu's mobile forces in the woods. The British were forced into an unprecedented compromise. To end the conflict, the government offered Jagabandhu total exemption from punishment and an honorable pension of 150 rupees a month. His allies were not so lucky. The king of Kujanga was imprisoned inside Barabanti fort for a year, while other regional leaders were permanently banished to the Andaman Islands. The uprising forced the British to overhaul their administrative laws in Cuttack, creating a template of resistance that regional leaders in Kol and Sambalpur would reference in the decades leading up to 1857. It took exactly 2 centuries for the official record to catch up. In October 2017, the Government of India formally revised its historical records, recognizing the Paika Rebellion as the true first war of Indian independence. Historical records are often written by the victors, but the official resurrection of Jagabandhu's legacy proves that truth and bravery, even if buried for 2 centuries, will eventually force history to correct itself.